What is up, RotoGrinders? It is 5:30 in the East Coast. Why are you starting so late? Well, because the Slate starts at 7:30 in the East Coast, so you're still getting 2 hours of nonstop NBA DFS conversation, taking you all the way up to lock. Crunch time comes in about 45 minutes or so before lock. So you guys got us about an hour and 15. Myself and the Millionaire Club, Bobby Gomes, $4 million winner. Chop, 2-time millionaire winner. Chop, shout out to you yesterday. Yeah, you gave us, speaking of winners, college football winners. You gave out some college football winners, some action. The people that were on at the top of the show, and I hit it live on the on Underdog. Nicely done, Chopper. And I think the projection team was on top of it too. I think you're passing along some credit as well. Maybe the Tuttle. I'm not really sure who else is involved, but happy Wednesday, Chop. And I got a few extra dollars to spend today now.
Oh, good for you, Dean. It's good for you, man. What are you going to do with your extra money, Dean? What are you going to do with your extra money, Dean?
I almost hit it too, just for just throwing it out there. I took my kids skating for like the second time, and we were stuck in traffic, and I was listening to the show. And I was like, Chopper knows college football. I should hit this, like something about the offensive line, the running back. And I'm like, he's got his hand in the dirt. I'm in traffic. Like, I put this in. I got distracted and I didn't put in. So I don't know. Missed out.
I mean, would it be rude to ask is there more of college football tonight? I don't even know. I'm not sure. There probably is. If you have anything, by all means, Chop, fire away. But of course, we're concentrating on basketball on this show.
There's a couple of games, but I haven't really looked at them too much. Today. It's not. There's a lot going on in the NBA and stuff. So, been kind of. And today it's Wednesday, so we start to kind of piece together the NFL content a little bit. It's the kickoff of the NFL content week, so I didn't really get into it too much. But I'll do a show on Friday, and I think there's a few games on Friday. Well, we'll figure something out on Friday.
Later tonight, speaking of NFL, I'm on with Daigle and Rebar, the Pick Six show. It's kind of a first look, and you guys know, if you listen, if you heard it before, Daigle and Rebar are two of the absolute best in the business. Was prepping for that. My Wednesdays are always busy because I'm prepping for 2 shows. I know, world's smallest violin. 8-gamer going down. A lot of players not playing basketball tonight. New Orleans, there's some several teams in the back half of back-to-back, one of which being New Orleans. New Orleans literally without their 8 best players, so they're their first 8 rotation players. I think we can say that. It's amazing what's going on there. And then Cleveland subsequently also playing the back half of back-to-back, and they're traveling home. No surprise, Cleveland countered. They ruled out LeVert, Merrill, Okoro, Dean Wade, and the big one, I guess, is Garland. They gave him a groin. 8 for New Orleans being out, most of it not new, right? Alvarado, Hawkins, Ingram, Herb, CJ, DeJounte, Zion. They waived Jalen Noel. I know somebody asked about Jalen Noel the other day, last night on Crunch Time. And what about Jalen Noel? Well, he's been replaced. Alfred Payton? Really? I don't know where he was, but he's back. Not in the player pool unless the FanDuel or DK or somebody added in the last hour or so. I checked earlier. He was not even in the player pool, not in any team, but he would be the 10th man. All right, he's probably going to get some run here for New Orleans. And then New Orleans midday downgrade, and one more just in case to keep us on our toes. Yves Missy. Also, the center is also questionable. So the other thing that's kind of weird is like you look at their guys and they're all centers. Like Missy, they have 10. They got Missy. They have GRE, kind of a 4, I guess. But Jameson, Tice, Makovich. These are all bigs. They have no wings. It's really, really kind of wild. Cleveland is a 14-point favorite, and we'll keep an eye on that one. They have, looks like 10 bodies. Craig Porter's popping. Ty Jerome is popping as well. It's very clearly, I guess you don't have to do it, but it's a stars and scrub slate, the way I'm seeing it. Giannis Antetokounmpo probably has the best matchup in the world against the Bulls because the Bulls play the fastest in the world. Well, in the United States, at least in the association. They give up the most assists. They give up the most points in the paint. They give up everything. And he's very easy to pay for because we have the salary to do so. Chop, how are you seeing How are you seeing this slate? I mean, I don't know how we avoid the New Orleans stuff, the Cleveland stuff. We have some later games too. It's an 8-game slate, right? And there's like 3 games late. And DK included them as well. It's kind of a almost like NFL, right? 5 early, 3 late. After 8 o'clock, there's 3. We have a 2-hour break and 3 games coming after that. New York, Phoenix, 10 o'clock tip off. Atlanta, Golden State, Orlando, Clippers. Also of note, Atlanta, we had like a last second scratch with Jalen Johnson. I think it was his leg last game. He's currently questionable for Atlanta, so keep an eye on that. But you gotta plan accordingly because that is a 10 o'clock game. We're probably not going to know until the second window, I suppose, of this slate opens up. Chop, how are we seeing it? Is it stars and scrubs? Is it kind of that obvious, or maybe mid tier is something people aren't going to do today?
No, it certainly looks like it's going to be jam in a couple stars because there's so much scrub value out there. So, yeah, that's just the way it's going to be. And you just got to embrace the chalk tonight. There's going to be several guys over 40% owned, I believe, when it's all said and done, maybe more than that. So that's just what you got to roll with and figure out what else you can do to make it just slightly different on these things. It's what is it? An 8-gamer. I don't know. These 8 gamers these days feel more like they're 4 games. Like so condensed to where what you really need to play, what you should be playing in your player pool, and you can scratch so much of the junk off. So, I think stars and scrubs is a good way to start, and then figure out how to get different somewhere along the way in the last few positions.
It's weird. It's an 8-gamer, and it feels bigger than that because there's a lot of plays, but then it also feels smaller than that because there's a couple of games where it's like, well, do we need anything here? Not really. Certainly you can if you're playing, large field stuff. But yeah, we'll have that conversation as we progress. Our boy Butto in chat. Don't tell anybody, but Butto's telling a super secret play of the night. Ty Jerome. Don't tell anybody about Ty Jerome tonight.
Yeah, don't tell him. Dean, I'll tell you what. They needed to give Garland a night off after that display last night, man. Buddy boy.
3 for 21? Is that what it was?
Can you make a layup? My goodness, man. Make a layup and you probably got a chance to beat. If he makes layups, they probably got a chance to beat Boston.
Yeah, they were getting blown out. They made a run to come
Darius Garland. I hate him.
Did we bet on Cleveland last night, or what? Is it something personal with Darius Garland?
No, it was Cleveland.
Yeah, they made a run. They covered, actually. Cleveland covered. I think they were getting 6. They made a bucket at the last second. Todd Jerome, I saw made a bucket at the last second, if I'm not mistaken. But I guess maybe he had it the money line or something like that. Bobby, you see it differently as far as the slates. I don't know how you ignore New Orleans and Cleveland. I think you're getting at least one in every single lineup and maybe more, probably more. There are some games that are going to be kind of sort of somewhat ignored. We might get Tyrese Maxey tonight. He's questionable as of right now. We might get Hartenstein, which sort of came out of nowhere. Not a big deal, but just of note. I wouldn't think he played a ton of minutes. It was I think a wrist, so it wasn't like a conditioning thing. And that was not really expected. But OKC is certainly, they have their tallest guy in their rotation right now was like 6'6", 6'7" for OKC. It's pretty wild. And I thought like Klingon and Williams, are pretty interesting. A slight hit if Hartenstein does go for OKC. But what are we seeing, Bobby? You got anything as far as the overview?
It's going to be majority Cleveland and the Pelicans for me, getting up to Giannis, getting up to Steph Curry. What I will say is your Robert Williams call the other night was on point. I think we could go back. You just kind of hit on it, but I think we go back to Williams tonight here at 4,400. Maybe he's one of those like a little higher end values that kind of gets lost in the shuffle because he's a little bit more priced up than these other guys. I like Robert Williams a good bit. And I can't believe I'm going to do this, but if you had told me in the middle of the summer that I'd be playing Franz Wagner at 9K overweight,
he's awesome.
He's fantastic, and I will be playing him again tonight because he's just better at basketball than the other people in the court. So even at 9K with Ben Kara out, I can pay that tag.
I'm trying to see if there's anything else. I have the if then stuff. Oh, it's also Wheel Wednesday. Yeah, go ahead and jump in the Discord channel, RotoGrinders.com/Discord. The live stream chat channel. Some of our Discord channels are free. Most of them are free for specific sports and things of that sort. Of course, this is a free channel. Just jump in there and click the avatar that producer Steve has dropped. We're going to spin that wheel, give away a week free of RG Premium. 2 if we get 100 likes beforehand. So hit that like button as well. 2, we'll give away 2 individual weeks. I think 6:15 is our target time. 6:15 on the East Coast. Crunch time comes in around 6:45 or so. We have if-thens set up for Maxey. We have one set up for Jalen Johnson. Jalen Green for Houston, which that's the sneaky one, I guess, that nobody's really thinking about. They can certainly open some things up for Houston, make Ahmed look better, and FEV and Şengün even better than they are right now. Tari Eason is a flyer. We'll talk about that. Anthony Simons is questionable too. Hartenstein, questionable. Really, I mean, OKC is basically SGA and Jalen Williams. But yeah, we'll keep our eye on all sorts of things. Any news drops, we'll certainly update with that as well. If somebody happens to catch it before I do, by all means, tell the people, or somebody in chat will be on top of it also. But Bobby, Chop, unless you guys got anything else, let's go ahead and do the old game by game. We're good to go, Chopper? I saw the point. That means we're good. And I do not think you can skip the 7:30 games. The very first 7:30 game tonight is Chicago. It's the Bulls. It's the Bucks. It's the highest total on the board, 239.5, 0.5. I guess we should add the hook. Sure, why not? Milwaukee is a 9-point favorite here as far as who's in and who's out. This isn't so much about injury stuff, right? Nothing new in Chicago. Lonzo's out. Everything else has basically been the same way for a while. The fringe guys, some of the fringe guys from Milwaukee, Rollins is out. AJ Johnson's out. Giannis expected to go. That's really all that matters. Of course, Middleton, we haven't seen him all season long. Chop, Giannis projects to score, median projection, 8-game slate. A lot of players playing, a lot of good players, a lot of studs. Giannis's projection right now on DK is, I'm doing some quick UCF math, but 12.5 points higher than the next player. And it's not that hard to get him. He's going to be massively owned because it's just really, really easy. I'm pretty sure I'm just going to play him, and that's that. Your thoughts as far as Giannis and Milwaukee and the Bulls and this game in general?
Lucky man. I can't fight it, man. Can't fight it. Just got to lock him in. He's it's the perfect matchup for him, perfect opponent, and he's going to smash probably everybody on the side. I'd be very hard pressed to see anybody outscoring him tonight in this matchup. So you lock him in out there. He had a rough game last game. Wasn't really rough, but he just kind of deferred to other people. This won't be the night he defers. So. Yeah, I think you roll around with that. There's just too easy, like you said, with the other value out there. So the other guys, you could play Lillard. I'm not really all that interested in any of these other guys. But it's just Giannis for me right there. Zach LaVine on the other end is fine. Giddey's fine. White, IU, you could play those guys. They're all right. But I think Giannis is a lock. And if I'm doing any sort of like correlation game stacking, it's going to be run back with LaVine. That seems like it's pretty clear cut. I think you probably, LaVine's probably a little bit under-owned here in this spot, I think, considering Milwaukee's not the defensive team that they used to be. And he's the breadwinner on Chicago. So it makes for a pretty good run back right there. But Giannis is just like GBP play, cash play, whatever. He's literally the lock button, I think, for me tonight. So I'm not even sweating it.
What was that report, Chop? Your Rockets, apparently the report was they're not going to put together a package for Giannis. Is that even, are they getting ahead of it? Was Giannis even offered for it? What was that report? You saw what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah.
It came out today?
It's hard to say if they're just like throwing that out there to, make
we love our young guys.
Like Milwaukee feel like, yeah, just in case it doesn't go through, your young guys don't get like a little bit emotional about it. And then I don't know, maybe Milwaukee's asking for like way too much. There is a limit to it. So maybe they've already caught wind of that and said, well, we're going to get out ahead, like you said, and we're not even interested because we already know it's going to cause too much. Or I think the ultimate prize for them at some point, if it's very, very soon, the ultimate guy they wanted was Kevin Durant. If that's not possible because Phoenix keeps it together this year, then I think the ultimate after that would be Devin Booker is what they really want. So, yeah, I think, they can wait. on one of those two guys to become available.
Hey, hypothetically, if this somehow can come down to it, Giannis or Flag, like say the person who gets the team that gets the number one pick next year, and I've heard all the hype in this guy, like, and I guess contracts would kind of work into effect as well too, because you're going to pay Giannis a ton. But like, has this been bantied about? You know,
I don't even think this is a question. Like, it's Flag.
It's not even close.
Really? Okay.
You're talking about the next year. He'll be in the draft next year. So
he's that good.
Year, well, yeah. He's going to be the number one pick next year in the upcoming draft. So when you draft him, you're drafting a 20-year-old kid who's got as much upside. Like I said that one time, Wemby is the only person who's come along in the draft in the last 10 years with as much upside as him. So you're a 20-year-old kid. By the draft next year, Giannis will be 31 and on a big contract. And you're also going to have to – that contract will be winding down to where you're going to have to pay even more. That's a no-brainer financially and just the timelines and everything. Yeah, that's easy money.
It's wild. It's wild that's like, just a, quick call and that's your answer and that's that. But okay, that's I don't want. I'm just told like people like you are telling me this kid is really really good apparently. But all right.
Did you see what he did to the national team?
No, I heard there somebody talking about it was there, but I didn't see the actual footage of it.
Yeah, he was like the best player on the court.
That was me, Dean. You heard that from me.
No, I mean I have social media accounts. Like
that's why OKC wouldn't do that trade, correct? Like OKC has all those picks stashed.
Oh, OKC ain't getting on that pick.
Yeah, they're not giving up that pick.
No, they're not.
Well, it's also the reason why
OKC, like, I think all the picks. Yeah, I don't think they can even get that pick. I think probably everything they got is top 4, top 5 protected against them.
Oh, they really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, but I don't. For the life of me, man. For the life of me, I don't know what Brooklyn is doing out there. You paid to get your pick back. What are you winning games for, man? Like, just throw it in the towel, man. Give yourself the best chance.
Yeah, that we're going to see the tankathon ramp up really.
Unless they know they already got it in the bag, which could be the case with the NBA.
Could be. We know it's all rigged. Once they lock the door, they lock the door in the room, and there's not even a camera. Come on, man.
they do that, really?
They lock the
representatives. Ernst and Young.
Yeah, okay, they're not in on it at all.
Ernst, you can trust.
They literally lock the room. Nobody can get in or get out. Yeah, they're not doing nothing fishy.
Oh boy,
closed doors.
Oh, put on the tinfoil hats.
I didn't know that.
All right.
Tinfoil hat is on. I'll tell you that
one. Have you ever did the Google search on Patrick Ewing in New York? Are you aware of this? Supposedly they used to pull it out. I don't know if this was actually in front of people. They used to pull the ticket out like in front of everybody, and it was like icy. You guys aware of this theory?
Yes, they freeze the card.
They froze the card.
So when he reaches in, he grabs the cold. Yeah, that's exactly what they do, man. They do that.
Again, I'm not saying that's what happened.
It's like the moon landing, Dean. It's like the moon landing. You really think the moon landing? How they fool the whole nation? That
it's so far up there. How do you even? That's not even possible.
They fool the whole nation.
But now, believe that we landed on the moon.
In hindsight, you look back and go, "Oh man,
I thought I was
land on the moon. Look at that footage. We didn't land on. Look at the footage." From 1960.
There's a movie out in Apple. I think it's Scarlett Johansson and somebody else coming out soon about faking it, actually. But I don't know if it's based on a true story or not.
I've seen the footage. I don't know.
I know it was not getting into it. But Bobby, Milwaukee, Chicago. I did have the same thought as Chop. Like, I like Lillard too. I was thinking about, can you play Giannis and Lillard because the matchup is so good for both of them. And I think if I do that, I'm going to play at least one in every lineup. But if I do that, I think I'm going to run it back with one Chicago piece, probably Levine. Probably.
When you do this one in every lineup thing, it really gets like I start having to think that I have to make rules around this because you were right on Sunday with the Lions.
Oh, well, yeah.
I totally missed it.
But that was like the Lions versus the Jags. If they're going to score 40 points and people don't want them, like, I don't understand.
The total is 4 points higher. The pace in this game is going to be off the charts. Neither of these two teams play. They're both in the bottom of the league in terms of transition defense. Like we talked about, Giannis is 12 points like higher in terms of projection. I think he's a phenomenal play. I like Chop's run back with Levine. Jalen Smith's going to be chalky. I worry about Jalen Smith because he probably is the only rim protector on the Bulls, really. That's going to, well, Vucevic is there, obviously, but I could see him getting into foul trouble, and I just think I prefer the other value better. Like getting up to like Robert Williams at 4,400 for 1,000.
He's not going to get played now, Smith. He was somebody that was like interesting like 7 hours ago.
Yeah.
We got him at 4% just because of what's happening with Cleveland and New Orleans. So we're not projecting him to basically get any ownership. Just a heads up.
So if he does get ownership, if he doesn't get any ownership, then I might be back interested in him. The Lillard call, I just hate playing Lillard. I think Levine's the second best play in this game, followed by Vucevic, and then obviously Giannis, I think, is the cream of the crop on the slate.
You mentioned the rim protection for Chicago. I was digging through stuff from last year and this year and some changes and things like that. Chicago, the Bulls, last year, just last season, gave up the fewest points in the paint in all the league per game. This year, the most assists, the fastest pace. It's changed so much. And Giannis streaking to the bucket, like good luck trying to stop him. And that's also why I don't really love Lopez. Lopez just stands outside and shoots. It's not. I'm not saying he can't get there, but I'm not really on Lopez this game. For me, it's basically Giannis, Lillard, one of the Bulls, probably Levine. I don't mind Vooch, but it's probably Levine for me. We shall move on. Do hit that like button. Do subscribe if you guys are hanging out there in the YouTube. And also, again, make sure to jump on the Discord channel. Get yourself a week free of RG Premium. You go to the Discord channel and the live stream chat channel, and producer Steve has a post. Just hit that avatar. We're going to spin that wheel. Your name will appear on that wheel. We'll get you a week free of RG Premium. Okay. New Orleans and Cleveland, 217 is the total. This is where totals lie to us because it's going to be a really popular game despite the fact it's 217. Both teams are playing the back half of a back-to-back. Cleveland is a, 13, 14-point favorite. I mentioned before, everybody in New Orleans has out, and Nisi was a midday downgrade as well. Like Boston and Kane and Green and JRE are going to play a ton. They just signed Elf. Do we know if Elf is available to play? I know he's not in the pool, but has he been cleared to play basketball this evening? That's also worth noting. We should probably figure that out at some point because I know he's not like on our lineup HQ. At least he wasn't because he doesn't have a salary or anything. But I imagine they're delegating some minutes his way. Okay. And again, all New Orleans is a bunch of bigs. It's like their lineup doesn't really make sense. Now, it's a good team to go against, I suppose, to having some bigs because Cleveland's pretty big too. Cleveland, again, they're without several pieces also, if you missed this. No Garland, which is the big one. Maybe he really does have a groin because he was horrendous yesterday, like Chop did say. LeVert didn't play. Sam Harrell started, and then he disappeared. Okoro didn't play. We haven't seen Strus. Wade also out. So, yeah, tons of value pieces here, Bobby. Can you power rank the value pieces on New Orleans and on Cleveland? Because the ones we're seeing, Ty Jerome, he's got the rainbow on a lineup HQ, 50% ownership. Porter at 30%. Porter's a guy that, like, you tell him he's going to get some extra shots up. He might take 20 tonight. Wouldn't be shocking. And then, of course, you have New Orleans. Now, Boston has prices adjusted. Not so much on Yahoo, but still very playable on DK and on FanDuel. 23% for Boston. Antonio Reeves, who I was looking at his college stuff because never really heard of the guy, but he apparently shot the ball a lot in college. He's still minimum 3K. We're giving him 25 minutes. JRE coming in at 15%. The interesting thing is that, like, Mitchell's not going to get played. Mobley's not going to get played. Jared Allen's not going to get played, which I just think that's sort of peculiar. I sort of get it, but, assuming this game stays fairly tight, there are ceilings there. Bobby, what do you got? New Orleans and Cleveland, this is the game.
I know. So Ty Jerome, while he's 4,400, it seems like he's getting the most. Well, between him and Porter, I'd go Porter ahead of Jerome just because, like you said, Porter's going to chuck, and I want someone who I know is going to chuck. So at 3,500, I think Porter would be my favorite, followed by Jerome at 4,500. Then you could go Jamal Cain at 3,800. And then possibly, I would say for value, Reeves, then JRE, because Reeves is 3K. I don't know much about Reeves. Maybe Chop can kind of break it down a little bit. Just seeing the 3K Stone Min. And I feel like more people are going to try to get to JRE, so just kind of taking the Stone Min rather than paying up 1,700 for JRE might be a better play, and that's why I have him ranked 3 instead of 4. Outside of that, like I prefer Mobley to Mitchell. I think I prefer Brandon Boston to both of the Cleveland Stars at 6,600. Yeah, that's where I'm going currently.
Chop, you got a scouting report on Antonio Reeves? I saw he scored a lot in college. I think it was a big 3-point shooter as well. What do you got for me?
Yeah, I mean that's he's one of those guys, and there's a lot of them in the NBA that you could if you put him out there on the court with enough playing time, enough minutes and usage, they can score like 30 or 40 real life points. It doesn't make him a good basketball player, but he can do that. He was like a 20-point per game scorer as a senior, but so he can score. He'll be in some lineups. I think he can blow with this much usage tonight on the table. He's a guy that could definitely blow away this price tag.
So I like him more than I like JRE, I think, because again, you try to figure out the lineup construction of New Orleans. This might change if Messi doesn't go, but if Messi's available, like they have 10 guys, JRE, assuming Elf plays, and then they have 9, but they have JRE is a big, Messi's a big, Jameson's a big, Tice is a big, Makovic is a big. If this game blows out, I feel really confident that Reeves is mopping. JRE's not mopping. He's too good to mop, which is weird. That's probably never been the case for him in the league. But that's just sort of my take on this, Chop. If this game gets ugly, and it might, does New Orleans have Jameson, Tice, Makovic all out there? Probably not Tice. So I'm really curious to see what they do as far as their mopping lineup, because it's just they don't have the right pieces. Kane possibly mops, maybe. Javonte Green. What do you have, Chop? Give me your assessment of New Orleans.
Yeah, I'm kind of having a hard time figuring out. Reeves might get the start here as a point guard. Like, there's just not a lot on the table here. Like you keep alluding to, there's a lot of big men. There's like no ball handlers, like true real point guards out there. Their point guards are all on the injury list. It's Alvarado, it's McCollum, it was Jalen Noel. They don't have any ball handlers, and Reeves did a little bit of that at Kentucky. So maybe he's a starter too, which would make him obviously jump up his popularity real quick if that gets announced. So yeah,
could Elf start as the point guard?
Like, we don't know about Elf, right? If he's even eligible to come in. If he's even eligible to come in to play tonight, I have no idea.
But that's what he would be, right? He would be the point.
Be the point guard if he was for sure. And maybe that's why they signed him. Maybe they signed him just in time to come in and be a point guard tonight, and then he gets the exodus after that. I don't know, but
they just cut Noel. I don't know what was the they had to do that so immediately, but yeah, I don't know if that's a contract thing or what, but yeah,
we'll find out when they announce that lineup. It'll tell us a lot. So other than that, yeah, Brandon Boston, great play tonight. These guys are they're just all going to get so many minutes, even if it is a blowout. There's only a couple of these guys that are just too good to not even play at all in a big-time blowout. Otherwise, everybody's going to get their run all game long. Plenty of usage for everybody. Jamal Cain's fine. Antonio Reeves, minimum salary. Yves Messi, if he gets any run, he's a fantasy stud. Like, he's just one of those guys. He bounces around everywhere, blocks everything, gets his hands on everything, gets credited for steals, just a lot of defensive stats. So you can go in any of these guys. Like, this is just – we talked about it last night. Put the max button on Brooklyn because you don't want more than 3 or 4 in your lineup, which, by the way, probably wasn't even the best idea because a lot of them smashed. Tonight,
we didn't know about their best player, their biggest fantasy guy was
true. That very true.
Scratched.
Tonight,
really
this one you don't want to put. I won't put a max on New Orleans. Like, if you want to play, if the lineup HQ wants to spit out 5 of these guys, so be it, man. Because they're all so cheap and they're just all going to crush, and they're going to crush on the court all together. Which means, like, when a guy scores a bucket and it's an assist, you're going to get the assist and the bucket, all that good stuff. So I like that side of it. Cleveland also, they're running out the some scrubs tonight too. Craig Porter Jr. probably has the most upside to me at the 3,500. Well, I mean, Ty Jerome, but he's 1,000 more expensive. Jerome's great. Porter's great. I'm a little leery on Mitchell back-to-back. I know y'all said earlier nobody was going to play him. I'm a little leery on the back-to-back and the fact that, boy, New Orleans, how's New Orleans even going to compete, even remotely compete in this game to where they're going to say, yeah, Mitchell, we need you for 35 minutes tonight. Nah, I don't. After you just played Boston last night and left it all out there, I have a hard time believing all that. And Evan Mobley went into like the last couple of games as a kind of a question mark anyway, with something going on with him. So I'm not as much, I think. Yeah, I'm not as much on the stars as I am on Jerome and Porter here. Maybe even George and Yang to sit out there in the corner and Britt divine it.
Yeah, that's Bobby's guy. George Yang. I did run some optimal stuff, right? And the guy that's landing in most of my lineups added some bells and whistles, right? Ty Jerome, most popular player in my lineups, no surprise. This is DK specific. Jamal Cain, number 2, Porter, number 3, Giannis, number 4, because again, you have the salary for it. And then Boston 5. Get some JRE, get some Reeves, at least 20%. It's just this game seems, and like Chop said, the players are so cheap. And this isn't like if a team's terrible in baseball, they just score no runs and you don't want any of them. No matter how bad New Orleans is, they're probably going to score like 85, maybe 90, maybe 100, maybe. It's only possible. And like there's going to be, and they're all so cheap. Most of them are cheap that somebody's going to be useful. Just the way math works. Somebody mentioned, Elf, he was teammates with the head coach, Willie Green. So like, he's familiar, and he used to play with New Orleans as well, right? So he's probably familiar with what, to some degree, what they have going on there in New Orleans. I don't like. It's probably not the easiest thing to do is step right in and play point for a new team in like 24 hours. Who knows how long they've been talking to him? But where has he been? Has he been playing somewhere, just hanging out at home? I meant to see where Elf has been. Does anybody know?
Probably on the couch, Dean, like the rest of us. Probably on the couch.
No, he's got to be in shape though. He can't just like, he's not just like putting down the Cheetos and like all of a sudden, all right, I guess I'm playing some ball tonight.
Maybe he's been playing DFS.
Maybe he is. I'm doing it wasn't that long ago he was in the league, right? I feel like it wasn't that long ago. He was in the league. Oh, I guess 2021, 2022. He played for Phoenix. It's been that long, huh? Lord King Guru saying Puerto Rico. Okay, that's possible. Yeah, they got some decent players down there. Okay. Does he just like dip out as the Puerto Rican teams are like, well, dude, like this, he's like the best player in Puerto Rico. They're gonna miss him.
Isn't DeMarcus Cousins in Puerto Rico?
Oh, he's somewhere. He's bounced. I think he's bounced around. I thought he might have been in Asia, but I could be wrong. One of my favorite players, man. I really enjoyed watching him. DeMarcus Cousins and IT2 back in the day was a fun team to watch, tandem to watch.
I used to, the old DFS great Sahil Sood, he used to live near me, and I used to go over his house and we'd watch. His dog was named Boogie.
Yeah?
After Cousins, yeah.
Andy, the great Andy Means has a dog named Boogie as well. Let's see, being told in chat. Yeah, chat saying Puerto Rico. And okay. But Patrick Williams for Chicago, he'll be out for 3 more games. Doesn't matter for us tonight. We already had him assumed out. Anything else we want to stress here as far as this game? It's going to be a good one. It's going to be tasty. 3-4. You can play 3 guys on each team, I think. Well,
but I think Elf is going to be eligible tonight.
Are you getting news, or just that's your best guess?
That's what I tried to look it up real quick, and I think he will be eligible because it's telling me that it'll be a coach's decision, which means like they're going to need him. So if it's up to the coach, of course he's going to play. Also, in addition to that, Dean, DeMarcus Cousins is in Taiwan playing a little Taiwan ball
with the Beer Leopards. He's on a team called the Beer Leopards.
Yes, and he was recently named the Finals MVP. So
he must be crushing over there.
Good for him.
I gotta play some Taiwan DFS.
How much bigger is he than everybody? How much bigger is he than everybody else?
Well, there's probably some other international players, I would imagine. But fun player. I wonder. Yeah,
it must be weird going to like another country and playing, and yet, I don't know. You have to get into all the customs and stuff like that. Probably a weird life change, I guess.
It's probably interesting. Well,
Probably
who's
the tallest person in the country.
Isn't Patrick Beverley doing that right now? Who did he sign? Is he in Israel or somewhere? I can't remember where he's at. Somewhere in Europe, I think. That's what you just want to keep on playing. Why not? It's a good time.
Yeah.
All right. Let's move on. We talk about those two games a lot because those two games are very, very important. Watch Mr. Baseball, the Tom Selleck movie where he plays in Japan. It's a terrible movie. It's a terrible baseball movie. I don't know if anybody's seen. It's not good. Portland and OKC, 224 is the total. OKC is a 12-point favorite here. We may get Hartenstein back tonight. Again, probably on a minutes limit if he pops back up in our lives, but just note that as far as who's in and who's out for Portland, just got the new injury report. Ayton is still officially doubtful, or assuming he's not playing. Simons is questionable. We're expecting, I think Henderson would start if Simons does not start. Don't know how much that matters. Of course, Chet is still out for OKC, and Isaiah Joe also out. Bobby, we kind of touched this earlier. Basically, the 48 center minutes report will be chopped up between Klingon and Robert Williams. Before the Hartenstein thing came in, I'm like, well, this definitely feels like a Robert Williams game against OKC because their biggest dude's like 6'6" in their rotation. Klingon's like 7 feet. He's a big dude. Williams is not short, but he's like, feels like he fits this game more, right? I don't think he'll play much more than 24 minutes, but he's been averaging 1.4 fantasy points per minute. You do the math on that, and that's great if that's what we get. OKC, tough defense, but also the worst rebounding team in basketball. So good chance to get some putbacks and things of that sort. What do we have here, Bobby? Blazers, Thunder.
Yeah, 4,400 for Robert Williams. I just think there's a good bit of ceiling there. He's someone I'm going to try to be over on, especially with OKC not really defending the rim and giving up rebounds. No real bigs currently with Chet out. Even with Chet in, they weren't really great on the glass. So don't mind Robert Williams. Probably make a rule between him and Klingon. Max one of them. I know Dean's big with the rules. I just think that.
Well, that one you have to. They very much negatively correlate.
Yeah, they super negative correlation. So, yeah, I definitely prefer Williams. Shea's always in play, especially with Chet out. I think you can go to Jalen Williams as well. 8,500 for Jalen Williams. I'm fine with that. Lou Dort, someone I tagged earlier. I think I liked him more earlier. I feel like the value for Cleveland and the Pelicans is much better than Lou Dort.
It supersedes everything. Everything you thought was interesting 5 hours ago or 10 hours ago.
Yeah. So for me, like spending up to Shea is interesting in tournaments just because everyone's kind of going to gravitate to Giannis, but you could get multiple of these big spends. So I don't mind Shea. Does have a tough matchup with Kamara, but I'm fine with Shea.
Another team playing the back half of a back-to-back, OKC, and took an L last night in San Antonio. Chris Paul led the Spurs despite no Wemby in the Emirates Cup. Get on the board there. Looking for some more news. No news just yet, but we did get an update on Lineup HQ, so feel free to give that a refresh. Shop for me, OKC. It's just it's one of two guys. If you want to play Shea, go for it. Have at it. If you want to play Jalen Williams, go for it. Have at it. I don't think I need any of the fringe stuff. And I do agree with Bobby. I like Klingon and Williams both as like tournament flyers. If Simons doesn't go, we have an if-then set up for it. I'll pull it up right now. The only positive value would be Banton, just barely. Williams, Avdia, Sharp are fine-ish, but really not a lot changes because, it's not that big of a dent and the prices aren't really reflective of big-time value. How do we feel here, Chop? This feels like the weakest game amongst the three we've discussed so far. Feel free to tell me otherwise.
Well, yeah, this is the weakest of the three so far. But, Robert Williams is in play at this price tag. He's got that defensive energy boost to his stats. He can drop that. Otherwise, not a big fan of Portland. Jalen Williams, SGA, y'all nailed that. You can take one of those two guys and feel good about it. I'll still keep Lou Dortz in the player pool. Again, last night, snuck over that 30-point barrier. He is Doesn't have a ton of upside, but he's been super, super reliable so far from a DFS perspective for a cheap price tag. I don't know that you need the cheap price tag tonight, but Lou Dort is a great DFS role player right now, right? Like he's not winning you a GPP, but he's not costing you a GPP. He's occupying a roster spot and he's helping you get towards that goal, but he's not going to be like the 50-point guy that wins it for you. Like, who was that last night? I don't even know. Whatever. One of those Brooklyn guys, probably.
It was
Cam Johnson. Maybe Cam Johnson from Brooklyn last night was also pretty good. You know, one of those guys. Those kind of guys
Westbrook
help you.
chop.
Cam Johnson too from Brooklyn.
Yeah.
Like any of those guys, like those kind of guys, they help you win it on a night. He's not going to win it for you, but some guys will put up a game and they'll lose your chance at winning a GPP. He's probably not going to do that. He's pretty steady. But so for that reason, he remains in just because at 5,200, I could get 30 from him. I might take a chance on one of these cheaper guys for 1,000 less who cost me a chance at a GPP because they put up a 11-point stinker or something like that. So he's in the mix, but that's about it. Jalen or SGA split them up, one or the other. A little Lou Dortz, a little Robert Williams, but not a super appealing game.
Question in chat, Bobby. Robert Williams or Kane?
Kane.
Oh,
He makes the good chicken.
Well, it's spelled differently, but yeah.
Okay.
Do they have Canes in Texas?
Oh, yes.
I thought that was like more of like a South Carolina, Tennessee thing. I could be wrong.
Would you add Blanton to that group with Williams and Klingon?
Who? Oh, Blanton for Portland?
Yeah.
No, I don't think so.
No, yeah, there's no reason. Yeah.
No, I don't think so. All right. Now you got me checking something to confirm. Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
A big negative correlation with Williams.
Is Soto news breaking now? Is that what are we talking about here, Chop, in the chat? Because I see you guys talking about Soto. Is that news breaking?
No.
Or no?
But this guy's bringing up trash cans, so I'm gonna rub it in that he's about to lose Soto and he got smashed in the World Series. Was that a sweep in the World Series?
It was not a sweep. I think it was 5 games.
Oh, a gentleman's sweep. It was a gentleman's sweep.
The Dodgers gave him a courtesy W.
He's mad. He's about to lose Soto. Garrett is over the hill.
Why do you think they're going to lose Soto? Is that like the rumor that's going around?
He's going to get paid like $600 million by somebody.
His best friends play on the Mets.
They don't have George Steinbrenner money anymore, the Yankees? Like, why aren't they throwing
his kids around? Yeah. We'll
Aaron
see.
Judge is little known fact. Aaron Judge is almost 40 years old. Once he stops doing the roids, he's cooked, man. Like he's
100%.
He's cooked, man.
I'm with Chop. He's 100% on something. I don't know what it is, but it's
he's hitting the gym. What are you talking about?
You don't look like
I don't know. I don't like to make baseless accusations, especially when it's on the interwebs. Maybe, I don't know. I can't say with the confidence you guys are saying. I have no clue. We'll spin the wheel after this game because we'll give the people one last chance to get your name on the board, get a week free of RG Premium. Again, one last time. Let's make Steve's life a little bit easier. Jump in the Discord channel, RotoGrinders.com/Discord live stream chat channel. Hit the avatar, and again, if we get 100 likes, we go ahead and give away 2 individual weeks of RG Premium. Trying to change the song. Oh, I like the last song, but maybe he'll surprise us with something even better this time. We got the Pacers, we got the Rockets. 231 is the total. Rockets are 7-point favorites here. Kind of a big one here, Chop. We have Green. Jalen Green is questionable. They say he had the fish. He's ill. Otherwise, they're clean. They're good. Indiana, no Naismith, no Nembhard. Furphy is questionable for the Pacers. Of note there. What do we have here as far as your Rockets? How much does life change if Green doesn't go? Do we all of a sudden love Amen?
Well, if Green doesn't go, yeah, Amen becomes let me see. Yeah, I don't know if he'd start, but he definitely becomes much more appealing. They like to keep him, probably like to keep that bench unit together. But yeah, I mean, if he doesn't go, it's a lot of shots. It's a lot of minutes that guys in the backcourt are going to get boosted up. Van Vliet a little bit, Jabari a little bit. I'm in a lot, and I think Tari Eason second to Amin Thompson. So that'll be good. Yeah, that's if Green doesn't go. If Green plays and he's fine and he's okay and suitable to play, he makes for a great play himself. Probably if he plays, he's probably my favorite Rocket if he ends up playing.
Yeah,
because this game, I get to Indiana Pacers. It's the pace, it's the tempo. It suits his game more than anybody else on this team, except for maybe the really athletic young guys. Well, he's young himself, but you know what I'm saying. Like Amin would be about the only one. Like I'm not super sold that Fred Van Vliet or Albert Sengun want to run up and down the court at that pace, but Jalen would thrive in it with the easy layups. So if he plays, he's my favorite. If not, we bump up the other guys. I still think, if it's intact and Green plays, Sengun is fine. You never know. He could smash on any night. Van Vliet's he's impressed me lately with his, from a DFS perspective. So he's in play. I'm not going to keep doubting him. Jabari is an okay play. If everybody remains intact, Jabari, you just never know. 10 rebounds is always right around the corner with him. He's got that in him. He just needs to see a couple 3-pointers go in, and then he's in really good shape that night. He puts up these big performances sometimes. On the flip side,
but Chop, I don't want to well actually you. You know what? I would never want to be that guy. You know that. I'm not that guy.
Talk to me.
So pace this season, right?
Are they down?
Indiana plays at the 14th fastest pace. You know what? You know the 13th fastest team is? The Rockets.
The Rockets. It's a great pace. Yeah, it's a great pace. The two middle of the pack paces. That means it's going to be up in pace because they're linked so closely. It's when you face. It's when you. It's when you face.
You got the actually job.
It's when you face the bottom paces. That's when it slows you down.
They're all right. Got the news.
They're okay. They're going to still try to get out and run. The Rockets want to run.
Green is in.
Okay, that's good. See, the Rockets want to run, though. They want to push the pace. They do. They just are not able to against other teams a lot because they get slowed down on. Indiana won't slow them down. Like, Indiana will be fine with running the ball, too. But the Rockets, have you ever seen them? Have you watched them play this year, Dean? Their half-court offense is awful. Ime, he's telling them every time he gets a chance, please push the pace. That's why you see them do the things they do on offense sometimes. They're bad in the half court. So I got a feeling that Indiana will give in to them, and this will be just fine for these guys, these athletic guys. On the Indiana side, I don't know what, like, they're all just – everybody's relatively healthy, and I just don't know that anybody's –
Well, the Turner thing, I missed Turner. I didn't say for Turner for some reason. He's questionable. And I think if he doesn't go, I think that would help Sengun also.
Oh, yeah.
Because – like he works some centers, and he takes advantage of certain matchups. And what are they going to throw at him if Turner doesn't go? Like Obi Toppin is what we're talking about. They did sign Moses Brown. He's like 7'2". He's a big boy, but there's a reason why he wasn't available. It was available, I guess.
Miles Turner, if he plays, Miles Turner is would be my favorite pacer probably, but that's not saying much because they're all priced appropriately, and I mean, it's a tough. Who's going to get the tougher defensive assignments put on them? Like there's a couple Rockets that you could throw out there as really good defenders, and is it Halliburton? Is he going to get the treatment from Amin Thompson or something like that? I don't know. It's tough.
TJ trying to tell me that Sengun would be hurt by Turner being out. Well, he's saying that like it might make it the game go smaller and he might get kicked off the court. And well, the thing with Sengun is like when he's giving his effort and when he's crushing, he's out there no matter what the matchup is. So, and then you watched it. I saw him against Book, and I don't know if you watched that game. I watched a good chunk of that about a week ago or so, just destroy him. And FAV was spectacular in that game too. They beat Chicago by like 30 or so. But that's the thing with Sengun is like he does have if he's not doing great out there, no matter what the matchup is, they will pull him, especially if the second unit is hot. And we've seen that on occasion. Their second unit is strong and they can't get on fire, and Sengun can just chill on the bench sometimes. Bobby, did you give your thoughts? My apologies. Did you give your thoughts as far as the Pacers and the Rockets? Anything you want to add?
For me, well, if Green had been out, I think Eason and Thompson would have got a boost. If Turner sits, I like Benedict Mathurin. I just don't like the price. Favorite plays from this game: Şengün, Jalen Green, Van Fleet, Siakam. It's more of the studs now. And I think they're all fine plays. Şengün, I think I'll probably be right around the field on if he's going to be as owned as I expect him to be. But the others I can be overweight too. Green, Van Fleet, and Siakam.
It's pulling up giving a refresh as far as ownership. I'm curious how popular the pieces will be. We're going to spin the wheel momentarily as well. We may get new music debuting from Steve. We'll see. Şengün coming in at 27%. Everybody else in the teens. Well, FEV at 13. Chop like Screen at 12. Eason at 11. Probably. No, I was going to say you probably wouldn't play Eason with Şengün. You can, I guess. I probably wouldn't do that, though. And Smith at 9%. Turner at 7%. Pacer is not popular at all. But it's all right. Let's go ahead. Let's give the wheel a spin. Let's give away 1 week, possibly 2 weeks free of RG Premium. Steve, where are we at as far as likes? Do we have 100? Are we in triple digits? Or are we only spinning the wheel once?
85, so only once.
No, that's a bummer. Well, let's give it a whirl. Did you add that? Yay? Or is that part of the song? I don't know.
Yes, I
Sugar
did.
Ray. We should have played some Sugar Ray.
Yeah.
All right.
Bobby, a big
congrats.
every morning guy.
Every morning. Yeah, it's a good song.
And I guess we didn't get to 100, so we're only spending it once, and that's it. That's the rules. No more bets. But good luck next Wednesday. Next Wednesday, we'll get to 100. Sugar Ray, producer Steve, will be sliding in and hooking you up with a free week of RG Premium. Congratulations to Mark McGrath. All right. We have Philly. We have 4 games left. Not as eventful as far as the back end. You guys tell me otherwise. Philadelphia, Memphis, 225 is the total. Memphis is a 4-point dog here. Injury reports. We may get Maxey, which, I mean, I'm not really interested in Philadelphia in general. If Maxey plays, they're just like a cross-off. Just a full-on cross-off for me. Memphis is dealing with no Edey. He's out for a while. Gigi Jackson's out. Contar's doubtful. Of course, no Ja. Smart, doubtful. He's still ill. And Vince Williams Jr. also out. So theoretically, I guess have some pieces here. They're also on the back end of a back-to-back. And boy, did Desmond Bane stink yesterday. He destroyed a really, really good lineup I had yesterday. But this isn't about me. This is about tonight. DFS is about today and today only. We care about today. Bobby, how do we feel about the Grizz today? And do you agree with the assessment on Philadelphia, especially if we have Maxey in? We're currently projecting him in. That they seem pretty uneventful because he's going to just eat off everybody else.
Yeah, no real interest in Philly. I will say Jake LaRavia, Memphis 4,500 is fine. Desmond Bane, if you want to go back to the well on Bane, 7,200. I don't mind chasing the flop lag a little bit, Dean.
I'm a little bitter still, but I don't disagree necessarily.
George and Embiid. Embiid is just not playable for me right now. Maybe he should be because he's not going to be owned.
This seems like the matchup, though. If he's going to do something,
this would be it.
This would be the matchup. There's really nobody they can throw at him.
Maybe I should rethink George and Embiid because no one's going to – I feel like no one will play either of them.
I would just say that Embiid had no free throws last game, which, like, when he doesn't get any free throws, like, that's not Embiid. That's his game, right? Getting to the foul line, drawing fouls. Maybe he's slowly working his way into what he should be. There's no discount on the price.
Making like a hand movement. What's going on, Chop?
What do you got, Chop?
What do you mean what's wrong with Embiid, man? He's a big old crybaby, a softie, man. What do you mean what's wrong with him? This isn't like Embiid. Yeah, he's a big crybaby. Now, do you believe in?
He's a big.
Do you believe in narratives, Dean? Do you believe in narratives? That's the question. Because if
sometimes,
you do,
what is it?
Then you got to play Embiid tonight. If you believe in the narrative that, oh man, his teammates called him out and he's going to smash tonight because that was egregious. That guy can't call me out like that.
He came back from down 20 or something like that.
I'm not up on the NBA.
Tyrese Maxey called him out.
He said he's always late for everything. Yeah, he's always late. Yeah. And like he's not good enough right now to be late, is he? Is that breaking news Or what is that? Did we get breaking news of some sort, or just the sound effect is kicking in, just to kick in?
That's just the air horn. This is the breaking news.
Oh,
This
yeah,
is the air horn.
Dean didn't know air horn. Dean didn't know air horn.
Well, I know what it.
Crazy.
I've been.
I'm with Dean on this one. I thought that was breaking news.
No, it's just emphasizing that we don't like Embiid.
Yeah.
His teammates don't
There
seem
you
to like
go.
him either. They had an hour meeting, a closed door meeting of some sort.
Exactly. That's the thing, Dean. So
Maybe.
like, was it just a motivation ploy and he gets it in and he really cranks it up tonight? Yeah, you can play that angle. Or maybe it's just all really falling apart in Philly right now, and he won't be there much longer. Who knows? And the Paul George thing might have been a really bad signing. We have no idea.
Maybe Max, he was just trying to get him go. Sometimes I think about calling out Dean on the show.
Oh,
Does it get me motivated? I don't know.
Get you motivated.
Has it worked?
You're the captain, so you know what I mean. We got to make the show move. You know.
But I'm with you in that I don't like any Philly guys. I probably don't like them regardless of if Maxey is in or out. Especially if Maxey is in, I don't want any. I don't think I want any of these guys regardless. LaRavia is, yeah, he's all right, man. He stuffs the sheet, man. You know, he's got that kind of a game, so good for him. Cheap price tag. He blends in with a lot of other salary savers tonight. He's not worse. He's not better than any of those other guys we talked about, but he's there. He has a chance. Like,
I just don't love the minutes fragility for him because Memphis has so many different dudes. It seems like we're giving him 26 and he's hitting stuff. And
well, we're not talking about cash game. We're just talking about GPP. GPP, I don't even think his minutes matter in GPP. What matters is, can he stumble into those defensive stats? If he does, he crushes. Like, he just crushes, man. But if he doesn't get those, then no, the rest of the stuff's probably not going to fill out enough to make you feel good about it in a GPP. Bane, Jaren Jackson, I don't know that I'm always a fan of Jaren Jackson's game, man, because he can always go double-double with a lot of three-pointers and get hot, but lots of blocks.
Or 3 fouls in the first 3 minutes, and it
Or
means
you
the guy
get-
that
or
you
you
can
get the
roll
opposite.
him.
And that's how
you
he's
get
getting to
the
the free throw line.
Yeah, or you get that aspect, but that's why he's a GPP guy, and I would never play him in cash. I would never play cash anyway. So, but that's about it.
Dean
The
lives
thing with
for
Embiid is he's got to beat. There's no discount. He's got to beat Cat. He's got to beat like some of these big names, and it's like, is he going to beat he's going to beat all those guys? Like, probably not. I could see him like putting up a good game, but is it a game that I need? 2% ownership. That's the best sales.
That's like Dean would. Let's go back to the analogy I've made earlier, Dean. Some guys win you a GPP. Some guys lose you a GPP.
He can do both.
Some guys just kind of maintain the middle. Well, no, the thing is, I think he can, at best, he just maintains your roster and keeps pace with everybody else. At worst, he sinks it, but he'll never be the GPP winner tonight. Not tonight. So I'll probably fade him.
Crunch time coming in about 15 minutes or so. We have Roth and Kirkwood and Neil. Again, 7:30 lock. If y'all are not aware, do hit that like button, do subscribe, do turn on those notifications. New York. This is the last 3 games. The last 3 games taking a 2-hour break. New York's taking on Phoenix. 222.5 is the total. Phoenix is a 4-point dog here. Still without some really crucial pieces. Nurkic, last I saw, was questionable. I have the injury report up here. Beal, Durant. Yeah, Nurkic is questionable. And even when he plays, he hasn't completed some games. Speaking of Cat, I like Cat a lot tonight as a kind of a sort of a pivot. You know, the minutes are outrageous. He's been spectacular this year so far. And is Nurkic going to chase him around in the 3? I mean, he's a tough dude to bang around with on the inside, but is it 100% Nurkic right now? Probably not. And if it's not him, it's going to be like the Plum Dog. And like Cat will just do whatever he wants, I think, the Plumlee. As far as New York, McBride is out. Nothing else new. Bobby, New York and the Suns, the Mikal Bridges revenge game. Do you believe in Mikal Bridges revenge? Maybe not. What do you have as far as the Suns and New York?
I'm not buying Mikal Bridges revenge currently. I think Towns is in a phenomenal spot. Really like him. So if you're paying $400 more for Embiid, I don't know. I think I'd just prefer saving the $400 and playing Towns. Grayson Allen at 4,300. He's one of those value plays that he's going to, like Trop said with LaRavia, he's kind of going to mix in. Maybe he goes overlooked. So I like him in tournaments a good bit. think he can always get to Booker in a spot like this.
For sure.
9,200 for Booker. I wouldn't imagine he's going to be very highly owned on the slate, so definitely going to look to get overweight on Booker. Brunson's fine. I'm not interested in Hart, OG, or Tyus Jones. Those guys are all kind of by the wayside. Same with Mikal Bridges. I guess you can make a case for Hart because he sees all the minutes. He's 7,300. He's not going to be owned. Usually he's like the median play that everyone's jamming in for the minutes, and he's not going to be owned tonight. So maybe there's some ceiling there. He always has triple-double ceiling, I guess, with those minutes. So I don't know. Maybe Hart would be my favorite of like the guys who are the same player in Hart, OG, and Mikal Bridges.
Flying Armbar in chat says, what about campaign revenge? Of course. Very, very vengeful campaign. I saw producer Steve throw up a stat on Nurkic. I didn't really get a chance to read it, but I think it was how bad he's been of late. He's 3 for his last 23 as far as field goals in his last 4 games. Biggest DK score is 23 fantasy points. He's been bad, and I think he's legit just dealing with this ankle, and I don't know if he's going to play, if he's not going to play. But 7 total points his last 3 games. That's I think it's that's an old tweet. That does not include the 5 points he put up on Minnesota. But nonetheless, he's been terrible, is the point.
If he sits, Plumlee is like a really, really good play, right?
Well, Plumlee's price bumped up, right? Because it's not like he's 3 or 4K. How much is he? He's 5K.
5K.
Do we have an if then? He's usable.
Towns' defense can't be great, I would imagine.
It's terrible.
Yeah, defense versus archetype, Nurkic would have a great matchup. If you go in the RotoGrinders defense versus archetype tool, Nurkic versus Towns is like number 2 post big. So no, I think Plumlee at 5K is fine.
I guess Plumlee's a post big too. I suppose.
Yeah, Plumlee's a post big.
Yeah. I guess he's in the pool, right? He's worth a gander. Chop, New York, Phoenix. What do you got?
Sneaky good game here for DFS, Dean. Sneaky good. I mean, I'd probably like it just a touch more if like Beal was active and playing here tonight, and then I'd have zero worries about a blowout. As is, there's just a tad bit of a worry that could happen. But the Knicks haven't been very good this, not dominating or anything. So I think the game stays close enough. I think the Knicks can get whatever they want offensively. So Cat looks great, and Jalen Brunson is a GPP guy. All those wings, maybe Hart because of the minutes, but the other wings don't really do much for me. But on the flip side, Devin Booker is the guy. He could be the guy that wins you that GPP. He's got that upside. Unlike Embiid, I just talked about his ceiling for the GPPs is probably not winnable. Booker at 9,200 can straight up win you a GPP tonight if this game goes in the right script. Who's going to stop him on the other side? Are they going to put one of the wings on him? That ain't going to work anyway. I don't think that would work. Certainly not Brunson Booker's a great play for tournaments here. Let's see, the ownership under 10% looks great to me. Yeah, I'm going to try to squeeze some of that in there.
Talking about Iguodaro and Chad Osa, who had a good game last time out for Phoenix, and kind of sort of somewhat in play right now, but I think he would be boosted if we lose Nurkic as well. We haven't projected the start, but only playing 22 minutes, if I'm seeing this correct, which is, I feel like you play a few minutes more than that, but we got him for 22. But there's Okogie 22, Dunn 22, Nurkic 24, O'Neal coming off the bench playing 24, may close. But those Nurkic 24 minutes got to be delegated somewhere. Plumlee would get some, but I think Oso's minutes will become a little bit more solidified as well. Atlanta, Golden State, 10 o'clock on the East Coast, 239.5. Another big boy total. Golden State, pretty big favorite here, favored by 8. We saw Trae Young really get loose from a assist perspective last game. I think it was 19 off of 32 or 33 potentials. Ton of assists. Jalen Johnson is officially questionable, which that's significant. I also think it increases the chances of a potential blowout here. The Warriors, just their rotations are annoying. We know Steph and Draymond, but everybody else, it's hard to get excited about anybody in Golden State. This is a weird one, Chop, because it's got a huge total, and I don't love this game. Is that a mistake? Am I going to regret this?
Well, first of all, Dean, I'd like to say that when you're running 150 especially, but even if you're just playing cash games, but especially if you're running 150, and then they include these 3 like 9 o'clock games like this, NBA is such a grind for DFS. It's just too much, man. Like I just can't. I sign up for it anyway. I do it, but it's tough, man. Like, you really do gotta keep on rerunning stuff all night long and make sure you got your best lineups in there, or else you're not really doing it the right way. So that stinks, but that's where we are tonight. This game right here, I don't know. Yeah, you're right. Golden State's annoying. Curry's fine, I guess. 91. Is he gonna be the guy that wins you a GPP? Yeah, he definitely could. Wiggins could be a nice, median play right there. Draymond has his moments, but I think I really like Draymond when he's got something to play for, like there's some kind of narrative there. That's what really drives him. I don't think this is it tonight. On the flip side, it'd be tough, man, to play any of these guys. I'm not playing Capella, probably not Trae Young at 95. Maybe some Jalen Johnson at 8,400 is not terrible, but otherwise this game doesn't look too appealing. Maybe I'll get lucky, Dean, and I'll just like have everybody in my lineups from the early games, and I don't even then I can just turn it all off.
You could do that. Like, it's not, well, there's 3 games that I would say not from this game necessarily, but you're probably going to have some New York and some Phoenix guys. Orlando and the Clippers is not terribly exciting either. We do have an if we lose Johnson, and Young would be a positive value, 47 DK, 43 FanDuel. Nobody else would be really positive, like fringe guys like Capella. Daniels will be more solidified. Hunter, we finally saw him to get some minutes and make some buckets, but he can only play so much, right, with his leg. But we saw Gary Bird, Garrison Matthews through the start, and that's not exciting, unless he hits like 7 threes. I suppose that's possible, but that's a tough out. Injury report, by the way, 6:30 injury report. See if there's any updates. Got Looney is probable. Melton, we know, is out. Payton was downgraded to questionable. I should say Gary Payton, because Elf may be playing basketball tonight. There's a 7:30 game going on tonight in Cleveland, and we still don't know if Elf is available. Like, we don't know this. Is he in the building? How is this not possible? How do we not know this? That if Elf is playing? Like, I don't understand. Don't want to go on a rant, but is there nobody in the building? Does he still have the hair where you can distinctly see, like, oh, that's Elf? I think he got rid of it. I'm pretty sure he did. Anyways, stop my rant. Bobby, Warriors, Hawks.
Steph Curry and Wiggins. Sorry about that, guys. Do you hear my kid? Steph Curry and Wiggins would be my 2 favorite plays from Golden State. Jalen Johnson, I think he would be my favorite play from Atlanta. If Johnson missed, I think Trae Young would definitely get a boost. Interested also in Bogdanović in that scenario. Like, he hasn't played a ton of games. What was his first game the other night or 2 nights ago?
Yeah, he came right into a revenge game against Sacramento, and he's played 2 games, right?
He's played 2 games.
His first game back, he played 18 versus Sacramento. And he's 5K on DK. Like, I can't talk to that. I just can't.
Okay, no Bogdanović. How about Ricochet? No interest.
His minutes have fallen back. But like, if Johnson doesn't go, he might play 30, possibly. But I think his price has to drop a little bit still.
Yeah,
for me, playing in the 20s these days.
For me, the 3 plays would be Curry, Wiggins, and then Jalen Johnson from this game that I would have interest in.
So we got news that Messi is officially available and in for New Orleans. So somebody is in the building. Maybe they can figure out if Elf is playing or not. But, okay. Just something to keep an eye on. And that, again, not available for DFS, but if he's available, he probably plays like 25 or 30 minutes. I don't know, because they just don't have any guards. Producer Steve having a good time here. All right. Let's talk about the final game. That is the Magic and the Clippers. We're talking about a 205 total. Get excited. Get enthused. The Clippers are a 4-point dog here. I know Bobby loves himself some Franz Wagner. I should mention the injury report. I don't think anything changed. I have it up here now. Let's see. Kawhi, of course, Kawhi's up. Wendell Carter's still out, so we're still doing the Gogo Batase thing, kind of sort of sum up maybe. He's coming back soon. Banchero out, but nothing new. Nothing really new as far as injury stuff here. Chop, amongst the 8 games, I think this is, if not the worst, the second worst as far as from a appealing perspective. The most interesting might be KPJ.
Yeah.
The absence of Powell. We're not projecting him to start. He might. Amir Coffey, we haven't projected along with DJJ, Zubac, Dunn, Harden. But Kevin Porter Jr. is one of those guys just waiting for an opportunity to shoot 25 times. I think he's an interesting tournament flyer. But your thoughts as far as the Magic and the Clippers?
Yep. Kevin Porter Jr. is on the list. He's in that lower 4K range with a lot of other guys we've talked about who have a chance to really help you in your lineups tonight, win a GPP. Absolutely still in my player pool and will be on some teams. The rest of the Clippers, probably not so much. But on that Orlando side, my favorite being Franz Wagner, of course. And maybe a little Jalen Suggs tonight. The Clippers definitely aren't an imposing matchup here for either one of those guys. The rest of it, I try not to play Jonathan Isaac ever if I can help it. Goga, his price is up there enough now. I don't need to go that route. The other one's not looking good. Franz for sure. Suggs a little bit, but KPJ probably arguably point per dollar the best player in this game.
Being told in the chat, apparently Shaq is playing center for the Magic tonight. I don't believe that's like 7 teams ago, isn't it? He played for a lot of teams. He was really bad at the end. People don't talk about it. On Boston.
He got hurt on Boston, though. He was good, and then he got hurt.
What's his excuse for Phoenix? He was terrible in Phoenix.
The big cactus.
Yeah, it's a good nickname. Yeah, was that his last team? Was there somebody else? I think Phoenix was the last one. I could be wrong. There's no one I think I'm missing. Of course, Miami, obviously, where he was still pretty good. Pretty sure Shaq is not playing basketball this evening. Still nothing as far as Elf. Let's see. Well, Cavs are playing to start Ty Jerome and Yang. I guess we kind of assumed that, right? Yeah, we have Jerome, Mitchell, Yang, Mobley, and Allen. That is the expectations. Only 5 bench guys. JT Thor. Raise your hand if you JT Thor was in the Cavs. Luke Travers, Jalen Tyson, Tristan Thompson still cashing those checks. Good for him. And Craig Porter, we're not expecting him to start. I know crunch time is coming in here shortly. Chop, anything big picture that we want to say as far as this slate before we get crunch time coming in?
No, I mean, I think we summed it up pretty good as far as going game by game. There's nothing else that jumped out that we haven't discussed already since then.
Somebody you like more or like less from the start of the show for whatever reason?
No, I can't say. No, I pretty much already had my mind made up, and there's without any further information like injuries or knowing any of that other stuff, I can't really say anybody jumped up higher on my list. But, we've still got plenty of time before tip-off, so you're just kind of waiting on the news now is all you're waiting on.
I forgot about Cleveland. Remember Shaq played for Cleveland for a year as well. Wasn't good there either. Wasn't good.
Could Shaq survive today's game? Would Shaq be?
He would be shooting threes, right? I would imagine he would have. As a
he would have
been developing differently.
The guy had one thing to do: just make free throws. Find a way to make. He couldn't do that. There's no way he shoots a 3-pointer.
But as a kid, you stick him at the line. They didn't really stick him at the line as a kid, but now I think as they're developing basketball players, that they're doing that. It's a great question. Like they said, you could say, "Well, however you want to do it," but who knows? But I would imagine they would do their best to make him a stretch 5. But I don't know.
I think I'm going to go out on a limb here, but I think I could beat Shaq in a free throw contest.
Oh, okay. Right now, like today, you're talking about.
Today.
You just
Today.
Yeah. So you're faster than
faster
who's the
than
NFL
Bobo.
player? Yeah, you're
Beat
faster
Shaq
than
in a free throw contest.
Listen, you know what's weird about some of these guys in the NBA is that if you watch them in practice, and I don't know if this is Shaq or not, but there's guys in practice who are just stroking 3-pointers, and they'll never even attempt one in the game. You just
Ben
can't-
Simmons. Ben Simmons.
He's the one who jumps to everybody's mind. But there's like dozens of those guys, multiple dozens of those guys all around. And I'm sure there's guys out there who are just 90 out of 100 free throws in practice, but you get in a game and for some reason they're 60%. They just something about the environment. So never know, man. Shaq might be a good practice free throw shooter, Bobby. You never know, man.
Dean, do you
I'd like
think
to-
that you can hit an open three in an NBA game?
Do I?
Yeah.
No chance.
I mean, like 1 out of like 15 times. 1 out of 10. I mean, is there
15?
somebody coming at me?
No one coming at you, you're
I need
just
some
there.
space.
It's like Space Jam. They find you in the corner.
yeah.
I was
The
never a great
environment,
basketball
the
player. I was good
environment,
at,
man, Bobby. The environment. You're underrating the environment. I bricked a 3-pointer in an intramural game one time because the
Just
environment,
one
man. there's-
time.
Yeah, that's the only game I ever played intramural. I
Intramural?
wasn't
You
even
think you can
enrolled.
hit an NBA three and you can't make a three or even hit the rim.
I didn't say I could. I'm the one
Oh.
I'm the one who's saying it in the environment. It's a lot different, man. When people are sitting there watching you, and it's weird, man. I
Yeah.
bricked it, dude. I bricked it. I was embarrassed, and I never played again. But I wasn't enrolled at the school. I was just filling in for somebody.
I think the last time I played basketball, I tore my ACL. I'm pretty sure that's the last time I played. I was just playing with my friends, and it was never very good. I was not like Kevin Roth. Kevin Roth will come on in a second. He'll tell you that like he'll make I don't know how many threes he'll tell you make out of 10, but
I
the
could beat
lights
Roth
are never too
1-on-1.
bright. What? Really?
I'll beat Roth. Yeah.
It's so weird we don't do this with other sports, but like there's no such thing as one-on-one basketball. I know you do it like with pickup, but like the skills don't always automatically translate. But like there's no one-on-one in football or baseball. Is there hockey one-on-one? Not sure. Never really played hockey. Don't know how to skate. But yeah, Roth will come on shortly. He's going to be on here with Kirkwood. And have you played with Kirkwood? You and Kirkwood know each other. You've crossed paths in real life.
We went and played. We played like football once. We played catch and stuff. I don't know why.
Just you two guys?
We went. Yeah,
I
what are you
need-
trying to say? We were
I need to hear the story on this one.
no,
Just
there's-
you and-
there's
just
a
you and
park near his
Kirky out
house,
there.
We were throwing the
Okay.
yeah.
All right.
And Mac Jones, he was hanging out too. The three of you guys are throwing the football around.
Maybe
Couple years
Georgie
ago?
Niang, maybe Georgie Niang was in that neighborhood.
Yeah, I'll never forget. They're talking, making when I tore my ACL, or I was playing with some friends. My friend goes to me like, "I'm on the ground. Like, this hurts. You ever tear yourself? Nah, not a lot of fun. Not a good time. I don't recommend it." My friend gets my face and he goes, "Are you hurt or are you injured?" And I'm like, "What's the difference?" He starts quoting the program. You ever see the program? This is what he's doing a bit, and I'm like, he's like, "Well, if you're hurt, you can play. If you're injured, we got to get you out of here." I'm like, "I think I'm injured." So, yeah,
You had a body part. You had a body part.
I did have a body part. I did have, for sure. That's just how it went. But we got Simons is out. That's what we need. Some more potential value. I don't know how much I care about that, but Anthony Simons is out. Do we care that Anthony Simons is out, boys? A little bit.
No.
I don't know. I haven't really looked at
Sharp
it
might
too
be
much.
interesting. Scoots, yeah. All right. I did not hear a lot of enthusiasm, but there you go.
I'm looking.
We did have an set up for it, and I don't think it like really popped. Banton becomes kind of somewhat interesting, I guess, but 25 minutes is our projection for him. But you know what? Roth is here, and you can tell him to his face, Bobby. You can tell him to his face. You can challenge him to his face. I don't know if he heard it or not, so we'll keep it.
He definitely heard it. I was making sure he heard it. That's why I said it.
Let's go ahead. Let's bring him in. Let's bring in crunch time. Bobby.
I didn't hear anything, so say it to my face. Say it to my face, Bobby Gomes.
I think 1-on-1, I could take it.
Oh, sweet Jesus.
Are we talking in basketball or a fight or what?
In basketball.
Okay.
obviously. Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to go too big. Oh, wow. That's a good one. That's a good one, man. Whew. That's good stuff. When was the last time you played basketball, Bobby?
Like 2 years ago.
Oh boy,
Yeah.
it's over.
Yeah. We're done. Yeah.
Are you playing every day?
I play like 3 or 4 times a week. Like,
Oh, it's
and
gonna
I
be so
have
much
for
sweeter
35 years.
when I
Like,
beat you 1-on-1.
no,
I won't
you
even practice.
literally. When I will spot you. We'll play a game to 15, and I will give you 12 points, and you will not beat me.
Okay. I'll take
Yeah.
that. You want to put
Okay.
some American dollars?
It's got to be ones and twos, though. It can't, because I don't want you getting one lucky 3 in a
Quick question for you guys.
Yeah.
Roth, when you're playing pickup ball, does anybody usually play with a hat on?
No, Jesus.
Yeah, like a baseball, like a fitted cap or a
Unacceptable.
any kind of hat. Yeah,
That's
right.
weird.
Yeah,
It's weird.
weird. Yeah, I just wanted to check that.
Yeah, no. No one would do that. Only weirdos.
Anybody ever recognize you and say, "Hey, you're chief meteorologist Kevin Roth"?
No. Yeah, no.
Never once.
Like on the
I saw your
basketball court?
mixtape.
On the basketball court? No.
Never happened?
No. On a plane, like you get next to some degenerate gamblers on a plane and start talking sports. That's happened.
Yeah. Do you ever want to like, oh man, it's 4 hours. I just want to listen to music. How do I check out of this? Like you give them the 5 or 10 courtesy minutes, and then you're like, okay,
Yeah,
we
I've
gotta
been
wind
there.
this down.
I've been there. Yeah, because you're trapped. It's going on a little long at times.
All right. Speaking of going on long, the people I think we went too long because crunch time. You guys got 40 minutes or so. Myself and Bobby and Chop are going to see ourselves out. Do watch the rest of the show. Taking you guys all at block 7:30, 8 o'clock. 8 o'clock. I'll be back talking football with Rebar and Daigle, two of the best in the business, talking week 12. So do tune in for that as well. The Pick 6 show. With that, Roth, take it away.
All right. Good stuff. As always, welcome to it, ladies and gents. You know the drill. It's crunch time. It's two of the sharpest minds in the biz. I'm catching up on some of the chat. Roth is 120 pounds, says 195. But yeah, all right, you're close.
All right.
He's never seen those guns.
Let me interact here for a minute.
Yeah, please.
I went to an RG party, right? And all I knew was Roth from the weather. And I watched Roth forever. And, DC like yapped his mouth a couple times. Roth is jacked. Like Roth is in legitimately good athletic shape. And like, that's all you need in the DFS world to be incredibly, to beat people. So people underrate you. Like if you ever fought DC, you would have killed him. Like that would have been the easiest money bet I've ever.
I know. Yes. Yeah. I'm glad it didn't happen because that would have been just ridiculous, but it's true. I would have. Hey, we're not here to talk basketball and fights. We're here to give some winners. We are here to talk basketball, actually, just not me. Chris Kirkwood in the house. He knows who he's talking about. What up, Kirkwood?
Doing all right. How you doing?
I'm good. It's been a busy day, but I'm excited to kind of wind down, talk some hoops, throw some lineups in last minute. We got Neil in the house as well. Neil just always looking sharp, man. Like the beard, the hat, the flannel, looking good, man.
I've got one look. I'm bald, so I throw a hat on. I always wear a flannel. It's kind of my brand. Yeah, I'm consistent with the look at least.
It's a good one. You can't, you don't want to stop what's working for you. Hey, let's dive into this slate, guys. Full disclosure, I have been dealing with like kid doctor appointments all day. I have no idea. I have looked at literally nothing. I have no lineups in. So Neil, give me a rundown on this slate. Before we even go position by position, just catch me up.
Yeah, I'll keep it short. There is a ton of value on the slate. There are tons of players out, particularly in the New Orleans Cleveland game, just tons of players out, but other games too. We're just missing several starters. So it's going to look like a very easy to build stars and scrubs lineups type of slate. And we're still waiting on, starting lineups are going to have a huge impact, and also some injury news yet to come. So a lot of stuff that we're still kind of waiting on the news. Hopefully we'll get it during the show. So yeah,
Okay.
That's the slate.
Okay, very good. That'll work for me. Well, let's dive into it. We like to start on FanDuel. We like to start at point guard, and Kirkwood, you get the honor, my man, of kicking this build off.
All right. Okay. Point guard position. This is so right off the bat, we've got a good potential. Well, we have cheap value, right? So we've got the Cavs have basically nobody from a guard standpoint tonight with Garland out. They do have, is Mitchell out too?
Mitchell's in.
Yeah, Mitchell's in. They have Mitchell, but so there's plenty of minutes. LeVert is the other one out, and Sam Merrill is also out. So you've got two guys who've been producing. They're actually good NBA players, which is a different, we're going to be talking some Pelicans and have to go into some guys that don't quite wear that name. But Ty Jerome and Porter Jr. are both in play at the guards position. They're both chalky. You can play them both together because salary is cheap. on them. You can play one or the other, however you want to do it, but they should be in line for a ton of minutes, 28 to 30, potentially each, but maybe even more depending. And, and this is the back-to-back after my Celtics put an end to the streak last night. But other than that, Jalen Suggs is a really solid play, I think. So I don't know if anyone knows this, but like the Clippers are dead last in opponent steals per game. On FanDuel, Jalen Suggs has some massive games when he's getting a bunch of steals. So this is a prime steal spot for Suggs. I think
they're last, as in they give up the most.
They give up the most steals.
I was confused. I got you.
Yeah. So they're technically 30th in opponent steals per game. Then there's Damian Lillard. Giannis is going to be the top stud on the slate, period. So he seems like the good leverage play, but you know what? He's still getting a lot of ownership here in this spot against Chicago. That's like that game should be pretty good. Chicago plays really fast. Bucks play kind of fast. Bucks defense hasn't been as good as it used to be, and the Bulls defense certainly is not as good as it used to be. So there's Lillard, and then Kevin Porter Jr. starting for the Clippers, most likely. And he kind of is a pivot off of the other cheap guys on Cleveland, Craig Porter Jr. and Ty Jerome. So there's a lot of ways you can go tonight. And then for GPPs, I think Steph Curry is an awesome play.
Okay, good stuff. Neil, I want your thoughts. I do want to add, we just learned that Jalen Tyson is starting for Cleveland, the world famous Jalen Tyson. That was my reaction to that. I don't know what position that is. I don't know if we have any interest. I don't know what he does, but he is starting, and I assume he's cheap, Neil.
He is cheap. Jalen Tyson here, I was just looking it up. Coming in at on DraftKings, 3,000. Stone Min on DraftKings. I am learning about him as we speak as well. He is so far on the year 0.76 points per minute, so not the best fantasy producer so far on the year. There's kind of an expectation, I think, that the Cavs on the second half of a back-to-back don't run their starters the full rotation, like the key pieces, the Jarrett Allen, Evan Mobley, Donovan Mitchell. I kind of think they're all going to be sort of limited in minutes, and that's going to mean more minutes for all of the other more tertiary options like Jalen Tyson.
Yeah.
So I think he's going to become sort of interesting if we do project him for like 28 minutes. He's another value piece to throw on there.
I don't even know what position is he, and is as long as he's not like a two guard that just sits there in the corner and shoots threes and does nothing else, then I want him.
He was the 20th overall pick in the 2024 NBA draft. He is 6'6". I'm just reading this off of his my Google search of him. He played for college for the Texas Longhorns. Okay. I'm as somebody who doesn't watch college basketball, I am and haven't played him at all in DFS so far this year. I don't really know much about him. But from what I'm seeing, he is a not great point per minute player, but he's 3,000, might play big minutes here, maybe even bigger than what we're going to project for if the starters do end up playing fewer minutes than expected. So I think he's going to be playable, but we'll see where the ownership comes in.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'm in. We got a few people say, Roth, he's solid. Matt says he's solid. All right. I'm in.
Summer
Whatever.
League, okay.
I have a rule. If you're 3K and you're starting, I'm in. I'm playing you. That's that. But Neil, sorry, I do want to get to your point guard thoughts. He is shooting guard small forward on DK, at least. I don't know about FanDuel.
Okay. So as of right now, and I'll probably run this several times throughout the show. I have Craig Porter Jr. He is 3,500, is my highest exposed player. He's not in the starting lineup. I don't think we were really expecting him to be in the starting lineup. But maybe he takes a little bit of a cut here. I think I'll probably have him, reduce him a bit. Brandon Boston looks pretty great at 6,600. I think he's just going to have awesome usage, should play all the minutes as long as they are able to score points today, which is not a sure thing. I think Brandon Boston is going to be a player who is doing a lot of the scoring. Wait, sorry. Did you mean FanDuel? Did you say FanDuel? I just realized
I meant it. I meant FanDuel if I didn't. Sorry. Yeah.
No, I think you said it, and I think I was on my DraftKings page.
Yeah,
I think it's
I want your FanDuel point guard thoughts, and then I'll get your shooting guard thoughts after that.
Yep. Sorry. All right. 1 second. On FanDuel, Ty Jerome at 4,700, currently my highest exposed player. Damian Lillard, number 2. Craig Porter also there. And again, that might come down a little bit now that he's confirmed not starting. Jalen Suggs, Kevin Porter, and Josh Giddey. That's currently the only players that I've gotten to in my first run on FanDuel. At point guard, I have not adjusted anything there yet. At shooting guard, I'm getting to Brandon Boston, again, my highest exposed player. Devin Booker, Jalen Green, Jalen Suggs, Mikal Bridges, and Josh Giddey are the only players I've gotten so far. I don't think I've turned on any randomness, so that's why I'm not getting into a very large player pool, but that kind of gives you an idea of these are the best point per dollar plays at the minute.
Interesting to not just hear that, but also dive into kind of the way that you build. You up and down your randomness to try to mix it up for GPPs generally?
No, I'm not playing FanDuel tonight, so I've been working on my DraftKings. So I just FanDuel, all I've done is a run where I like set a minimum number of uniques. Usually I will throw in just a small amount of randomness just to kind of get, players who are maybe fringy, but like project, 0.1 points worse than somebody ahead of them.
Sure.
I don't want them to always be, not get into lineups because they project just slightly worse. So I turn on just a little bit of randomness to kind of get an idea of how much I want of players, and then from I adjust projections to get to the amount that I want, which I've started doing on DraftKings, but on FanDuel I have not done that yet. So on FanDuel, I'm really just doing it for the sake of the show to get an idea of who I will get to, and then I kind of adjust players as I go. If I see players that I'm not getting to and I want to get to some.
Okay, good stuff. Appreciate kind of that insight into your build. Kirkwood, I want your shooting guard thoughts, and also we were talking about this Tyson guy. Apparently, he had a couple near triple doubles in summer.
Yeah, he's a baller. He played at Cal. Actually, he finished out his career. I remember him a little bit. He was a 20th pick, which is why I know him.
Well, just the fact that he's getting near triple doubles tells me
he's actually like we're going to be talking about undrafted guys from the Pelicans. Like this guy's he's raw, he's young, he's legit. But the problem is he's going to be playing with Donovan Mitchell. The garbage time is where he could excel. So like if this game gets out of hand or they take care of business, and which they very well could. I mean, they keep running him out there because he's haven't playing good. He could light it up.
Sure, but even playing with high usage guys, if he's a dude who can rebound and do other things, then like, all right, that'll work at 3K. Anyways, shooting guard, your thoughts, Kirkwood?
All right. Brandon Boston Jr. is probably he's taking on the role of Brandon Ingram. Now he's no Brandon Ingram, and they could, everyone's going to be scared of the Pelicans thinking that they're not going to have real trouble scoring. But the thing is, they're all priced so cheap. One of these guys at least is going to absolutely smash. Like multiple guys could smash. So like everyone wants to say, "Oh, I'm fading Pelicans tonight," but you're going to need somebody from the Pelicans, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And he makes the most sense. But
he being, I'm sorry, I missed it.
Brandon Boston Jr. Just because he's been producing anyway, he's been playing anyway. But we do have other cheap guys in the lineup we'll have to get to. Devin Booker is one of my favorite studs tonight against the Knicks. They just have a trouble guarding him usually, and he could just put up a ton of shots. So you have to consider him. Jalen Green is really cheap. I like him. I've been thinking about him. I was kind of hoping he'd be out to play Şengün, because I thought he'd be a smash. Also, Miles Turner was potentially going to be out, so those were like the pathways for Şengün to absolutely go nuts. But both of them are wrong. Green is in, and Miles Turner is in. Like I said again, Jalen Suggs is my guy tonight. I think this is just the perfect game for him for steals. So I like him. Trying to see who else. Zach LaVine was okay. I think he's okay again the other night. That's my endorsement. Halliburton, something is wrong with Halliburton. It's his back or something, or
he might just suck.
Yeah, maybe.
I don't know.
I don't think he was so good that I don't. He was
so good. He looked so good for a while, and now he looks so bad.
I think he's got a messed up back apparently, and that's something you don't want to mess with. And as you know, any hooper, any part of your back hurts or your elbow, once you hit like 37 years old and you start shooting, right after you get all this pain, your shot like I would be interested to hear how your shot's like,
I can't follow through as much.
You're like, what is wrong? Like, what is wrong with me? Anyways, that's about it.
Okay, I did get a few people asking. And they're asking on DK, but since multiple people are asking already, do we prefer Reeves or Tyson? I think they're both stone cold men on DK at 3K. Do we have a strong lean, either of you?
Reeves is my sneaky play for like the the one that could go off. So Reeves, we'll talk about him for. He's a Kentucky guy, 47th pick, a guy who can score. They're going to need that. It's thin though. Like, you know, any of these guys could be thin, but he's like my sneaky Pelican that I like the best. And then, yeah, I don't know. Let me, Neil, do you have any projection insight yet?
It's very, very close. Currently, they're being projected for about the same number of minutes. It's not.
Yeah.
Reeves projects slightly better than Tyson, and I guess I think they have the exact same eligibility too. Let's see. In terms of projected ownership, does that make a difference? Let me see if that's going to break a tie somewhere.
But we probably don't even have like correct ownership yet.
That's also true with Tyson. That's fairly new.
Yeah.
Reeves is actually coming in fairly low owned. My guess is that Tyson ends up getting lower ownership, so I'm going to go like slight preference there, but that's making an assumption about who's going to get lower ownership. Oh, Elfrid Payton is starting instead of Jamal Cain. We just got that news.
So it's Payton, Boston Jr., Green, Robinson Earl, and Missy.
Yeah.
Yep. They're missing.
This is like the end of the season NBA.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's gross. Like
This is a G League team.
Okay. I think we are now on shooting guard. Kirkwood, your thoughts there?
I just did shooting guard, so I'll take it over to small forward.
That's what I meant to say. Thank you.
Yeah. And we will go Javonte Green. Not a guy who can get a lot of the defensive stats, not the greatest scorer. And he's one of these Pelicans that, you know, he is starting, I believe. Let me just double check that.
We just got that.
Yeah, starting as he should be. It's just minutes, and he's going to be out. Like any of these Pelican guys should crush their salaries, but see how efficient they are. Like I said, I love Devin Booker. I also love Jalen Williams, who you can play here at the small forward position on FanDuel. Franz Wagner again, always like the guy's just good. I'm all set on Paul George. He's coming in for some ownership. It seems kind of cheap at 7,600, but with all this Embiid talk and like, do we have news on Maxey yet?
He is available. Did you hear what the quote was on Maxey?
No.
That he's going to have a short minutes restriction, something like that. I want to find the exact quote because it was kind of a funny, like, how do you interpret this? Like, I don't know exactly how to
And it's Nick Nurse. The guy doesn't know how to limit minutes either.
Yeah.
Like, do you mean his minutes are short or that the restriction is short?
Yeah, exactly.
Whoever the reporters, whoever he said that to should have been like, what does that mean?
Exactly. It's your job. What he said
is your job to clarify that.
He'll have a pretty short minute restriction if he plays Wednesday per Coach Nurse. I'm taking that as he's probably not going to play a ton, but I think that's really open to interpretation. That's just like, I have a slight lean toward, I think this means that he's not going to play much. Yeah. But I could be totally wrong there.
Okay. Anyways, Kirkwood, are those all your small forward thoughts?
Man, Jamal Cain could be good. He's another Pelican. Don't have much to say about him.
He's the guy who we thought was starting but isn't starting.
Yeah.
Okay.
So now that he's not starting, are we off?
But it's like all these, he still should get a bunch of minutes. Like all these guys are going to play, and it like he'll probably solidifies garbage time for him no matter what. Mm-hmm. Which is probably where these guys come in to play, unless, you know, the Ewing theory when like people are out and they somehow these guys all rise together, but this is going to be a tough ask.
Yeah, you still need to have talent to make that happen. Sometimes these guys just only put up 68 points together all night. Okay, Neil, I want your thoughts at small forward, and I do want to talk about, and I should warn you, I'm alone with my kids, and there's about to be kids in the room. Neil, your thoughts? I'm so distracted now.
Well, don't worry about Neil. Neil's not allowed within 200 feet of your house.
With Elf Payton starting, what are your thoughts?
So Elf Payton is not on the slate. It obviously makes me less interested in Jamal Cain. Like, I think the projection comes down there. Still playable. I think I agree with Kirkwood that like they're still probably all going to get minutes regardless of whether they're starting. But Elfrid Payton, obviously, it's not great that he's coming off the bench, and he is going to get some ownership. I think just because he was being projected in all day, people will leave him in the lineups. I think he's playable, but not a huge priority. as of now. Javonte Green still looks awesome. He's starting. He's only 4,500. Should play big minutes. Kind of expecting, Cleveland has a great defense, but I'm thinking that their great defenders are probably going to get less court time tonight. So I'm not as concerned about the matchup with Cleveland. I think Javonte Green looks great. He's currently my highest exposed small forward. I also have Devin Booker, Jalen Williams, Franz Wagner, Jake LaRavia, Paul George. As of right now, I have still 20% of Jamal Cain. I don't know if I'll come off that. Zach LaVine, Andrew Wiggins, Lou Dort, Jonathan Isaac, Jalen Johnson, and nobody else over 10% for me at small forward.
Okay, take me to power forward, Neil. Your favorite plays there.
Yep, at power forward, Giannis, just again, we have so much value. Giannis against Chicago should smash. Of course, we said this last week, and he had his worst game of the year, I think. So not guaranteed, but easy to get to Giannis. I'm going to get to a lot of Giannis tonight. Jalen Williams, Franz Wagner, Jake LaRavia, Brandon Clark, Andrew Wiggins, Santi Aldama, Jonathan Isaac, Draymond Green, Jalen Johnson, Jaren Jackson. Nobody else currently over 10%.
I'm seeing Donovan Mitchell isn't starting, according to just someone in the chat. So I think we need to talk about that. And then also, are we getting to the point where everyone has all the salary, so we're all playing Giannis?
Yeah, it's kind of what happened last week too, where it's just like you're funneled to Giannis because he's like clearly the best projected play, and it's easy to get there even at his salary. So it is kind of like people are being funneled to Giannis. He's going to get a lot of ownership, and might be more than it should be.
Yeah, I suppose I'm a bit intrigued about that. By the way, that again, what I said about Donovan Mitchell, not confirmed. So we need to see if that's confirmed before. It's just a random dude in chat.
Yeah, I'm looking it up.
We'll obviously follow up on that. Other people saying he is starting. So.
He is starting. Yeah, he is. According to Underdog, he's starting.
Okay, he is starting. So Ixnay that. But yeah, I'm obviously getting to Giannis too, and I'm just worried he's going to be 80% owned, and I should have just paid up somewhere else. Kirkwood, are you just playing him because you've got the money?
Yes, because he just has such a massive ceiling. So first of all, the Bulls allow the most points in the paint. Good for Giannis. They are also the Bulls are first in pace, 24th in defense. They're also 20th in opponent blocks and 21st in opponent steals. So it's like this is how he wins, right? Like he's so nasty, but like he attacks the paint. He needs steals, blocks, all that good stuff. So there's nothing bad about this spot I can say. Like, and everyone's out. I think like maybe he would have to get hurt to not smash in this spot. I feel like.
Yeah. Okay.
Or foul trouble, or maybe he has an off game, but
yeah. Okay. Any other power forwards you're interested in there?
Yeah. So Jalen Williams against Portland, he should feast. Wagner again. I think you can play Jaren Jackson Jr. Against Philly. He did get a little bit banged up last night, but it's a little scary back to back. But I still like him. Jake LaRavia. Yeah, that's about it. Santi Aldama on the Memphis side too. Memphis is still missing a bunch of guys.
Okay, take me to the center spot, Kirkwood. What do you like there?
All right, center. This is where. So Jeremiah Robinson Earl is a cheap guy if you want to go that route on FanDuel at 4,500. Against Cleveland spot. He's actually an NBA caliber player. He came from Villanova. He was a top 32. He was a 32nd pick. Like, he can play. So I feel better than him on some of the other guys. Again, it's Şengün. Indy's a great matchup. It was going to be like the not matchup if Turner was out, in my opinion. But he's cheap. He's 8,500 on FanDuel. So like, he's cheap. Cat is another guy. He's 9,300, probably going to be inching towards the $1,000 salary very soon. I think that not many people will play Miles Turner on the other side of Şengün because it was such a late ad here and he's been banged up, so I don't mind that. Brook Lopez has been ridiculous in some games, has flashed like a massive ceiling. I don't know if this is the best spot because they're both projected to play very fast, but he and Vooch are very similar. They both like to pop out and shoot their threes, and are both big guys. So I don't mind him at 6,100. And then, you could play Vooch too on the other side.
Okay. Anger6 in the chat says, Roth just creamed a little. You mentioned Şengün. I did get excited, I will admit. I just think you should play him every night. And I thought that the other night, was it last night? He let me down massively, but he's too cheap, man. I'm going to play him again. Neil, who are you playing at center?
Yeah. Jeremiah Robinson Earl, agree there. Just looks awesome tonight. I looked it up, I believe, earlier, and I think because I was like, is he going to get in foul trouble against these bigs? And he doesn't foul that much. So no real concerns with Jeremiah Robinson Earl in terms of minutes. I think he should play. Of course, we do have Missy in now. So I was kind of, hoping that Missy would be out and we'd see 40-ish minutes from Jeremiah Robinson Earl. Not projecting that, but clearly has high minutes upside and is one of the better point per dollar plays on the Pelicans. So he is currently my highest owned sender. Şengün is my number 2. Agree with everything Kirkwood said. Just, great spot. Fast paced Pacers was, of course, like Kirkwood said, hoping that we're going to get Miles Turner out, some, kind of a better situation for Şengün, but still a totally fine spot to play him. Brandon Clark, Miles Turner, Santi Aldama, Draymond Green, Jaren Jackson, Cat, and Brook Lopez and Vooch are the only centers I'm getting to right now.
Okay, good stuff, guys. We want to take it to DK. We still have about 13 minutes, so we're only slightly behind schedule. But first off, we're going to find you the value, and we can find it right here on RotoGrinders. Busiest time of the year. Perfect time to sign up for RG Combo. For a limited time, your first month of combo access is $79.99. That's nothing. That is a steal. It's a deal because it's just $5 more than NBA Premium. So you can get all the sports for $5 more than you can get one sport. Do not pass up this phenomenal opportunity. Make sure you're signing up for RG Combo. It's a dynamite combination. Let's go to DK as my kids come into the room one more time. Neil, you can lead us off at point guard.
Yeah, actually, before I start on DK, I just want to say Robert Williams, I think it's kind of sneaky on FanDuel, like on DraftKings, getting more ownership, but getting like 0 ownership on FanDuel. And I think he's sneaky because I think he's a great point per minute producer. And also Donovan Clingan has been like a little bit plagued by foul issues, 6.2 fouls per 36 minutes. And I think against the Thunder, Clingan could get into foul trouble. So I'm sort of intrigued just as a super contrarian play by Robert Williams on FanDuel as well. But I just want to get that out before I move on to DraftKings because I hadn't made an adjustment for that. At point guard on DraftKings, I am... Wait, what's going on? Oh, here we go. Craig Porter Jr. still is my highest owned player, even after his projection came down with the not starting news. I'm still getting to a ton of Craig Porter Jr. Ty Jerome, number 2 for me. Brandon Boston. It's a lot of the same players. Devin Booker, Damian Lillard, Kevin Porter Jr., Fred VanVleet, Delano Banton, Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, Kobe White, Josh Giddey. Nobody else over 10%.
Okay, very good. We should note we have 600 or more watching and not nearly that many likes. And all that we ask is not that you pay for this show, but that you hit that thumbs up so we can get more eyeballs, so we can keep this show free for you. So when you hit the like button, you are helping yourself as well as us. Kirkwood, what are you doing at point guard on DK?
I just want to say this. My dog has smoked me out in my office here. It smells so bad. He got me good. I want to congratulate him.
When you said my dog has smoked me out, I was like, what is your dog?
A bomb went off in here.
Tough scene, man.
Ty Jerome, Brandon Boston Jr.
That fast.
What's
amazing.
that?
He's got an I just started dog gif up.
Yeah.
It's just amazing speed. Okay, anyways, Ty Jerome, of course, and
Brandon Boston Jr., Craig Porter Jr., Kevin Porter Jr. is, I think he could be good tonight. He's like the pivot off of the other guys. Damian Lillard, Delano Banton is a baller when he gets minutes, and tough matchup for sure, but definitely in a good spot with Simon's out. Let's see who Fred. No one's gonna play like Fred VanVleet. He's gonna get a little ownership, but like he was gonna be the play if Jalen Green was out, and now he just takes like a back seat. So I kind of like that in tournaments, and I love Devin Booker. So that's, and I think Donovan Mitchell's interesting. I mean, if this game somehow stays close, I don't know. I'm probably not going to pull that trigger, but 8,800 if the game stays close, he could just score 1 million.
Sure. Okay. Take me to shooting guard, and then we're going to start going one person per position just to make sure we have time for questions. But Kirkwood, your thoughts at shooting guard, and then Neil, get ready for small forward after that.
I like Brandon Monster Jr. Antonio Reeves is the guy that I thought was kind of sneaky. He's not very sneaky, but I think he's going to produce when he's on the floor. Zach LaVine, you can do. I guess we can play this Jalen Tyson. I mean, he's not bad. I just wonder about like how much of a role he's going to have. And Devin Booker again, and Shaden Sharp I'll mention too at 5,600.
Okay, Neil, your thoughts on small forward?
Yeah, I'm getting to still a good amount of Antonio Reeves, and yeah, he's not looking that sneaky right now, but getting to a good amount there. Franz Wagner, Jalen Tyson, Jamal Cain, and I will note, it looks like Jalen Tyson probably going to come in a little bit lower owned than Antonio Reeves, so I might try to flip their ownership. They project really close together. I'm still getting to a good amount of Jamal Cain, even with Peyton starting. I might try to trim it a little bit. Zach LaVine, Lou Dort, Andrew Wiggins, OG Anunoby, Mikal Bridges, nobody else over 10%.
Kirkwood, your thoughts on power forward? Save me. How many more minutes do you have? 7 minutes? Okay. 7 minutes. My kids are great. I love them. Kirkwood, your thoughts at power forward?
Power forward, Giannis leading the way. Top star of the night. Then there's Jeremiah Robinson Earl, who I mentioned already. Franz Wagner, mentioned already. Jake Laravia. Trying to think. I think Tari Eason is still in play at 5,600. He's a guy who can produce with limited minutes. Who else do I have? Robert Williams. Did I say him? Let me say him. I like that call, especially if Klingon gets in foul trouble. Huge point per minute producer, so I can see that working out. And then you can always play a Nick for their minutes, and OG Anunoby is in play if you need him, 6,500.
I kind of feel strongly that you just shouldn't play dudes like Eason or like OG who are in normal spots. There's so many guys we have that are in exceptional spots with people out that like, I want to play those dudes. And speaking of which, can I play Reeves and Tyson? Everyone's saying Reeves or Tyson. Can I just play them both?
Yes.
Yeah, you can.
Yeah. Okay, I think, Neil, that takes you to the center position.
Yep. At center.
That one wasn't me. That one wasn't me.
That was definitely Roth. That was Roth. That was not me, everybody.
I can tell you for sure it wasn't me because I don't have kids. So I'm pretty confident that it was not me. Jeremiah Robinson Earl, Giannis Antetokounmpo, Alperen Şengün. I gave a boost to Robert Williams. He's actually getting some ownership on DraftKings. I like the call of going to Donovan Klingon, who's coming in much, much lower owned. I want to make the case for Robert Williams because he was super contrary. Now the ownership has come up quite a bit. So now it looks like Klingon is the more interesting because he's coming in much lower owned there. Jalen Williams, Cat, Jabari Smith, getting to a bit of Vooch, Goga Bitadze. I boosted for the same reason Kirkwood talked about with the Cleveland guys. Like, it's possible they play their normal minutes and they're not being projected that way, so they're not really getting any ownership. So I boosted to just get 5% of Evan Mobley, trying to get just a little bit of those starters. I'm actually still not getting to any Jarrett Allen, but yeah, nobody else really at center.
Okay, Kirkwood, do you want to run through your center thoughts, just so I can hear you say Şengün again? But feel free.
Yeah, I will, and I'll also apologize to everybody. Mariah Carey has nothing on my son's high notes.
That was your son?
Yeah.
That's fantastic. All right, your thoughts at this.
All right, Giannis is center eligible, so obviously you have to mention him. Şengün, the next best, Jeremiah Robinson Earl, Cat is up there, Jalen Williams is up there. Would it be crazy? It probably is crazy, but would it be that crazy for Joel Embiid to like go off after all the criticism he's been taking? I think it probably is crazy, but could happen. There's not much else I like. Miles Turner, I think is interesting. 6,800. I like the Mobley call, bumping, that playing him or Donovan Mitchell potentially with some of this Pelicans value because like a lot of people aren't. No, most people aren't going to play them. And then I'll mention Brolo again.
Okay. I do have a request if we could kick out Achilles from the chat. I know he's been hanging out with us for almost a decade, but he said Fred VanVleet is the way better version of Jalen Brunson. And that is almost a bannable offense here on this stream. So pump your brake. We said we gave the other guy 2 strikes who gave the fake Donovan Mitchell. We gave the other guy 2 strikes. That's your 1 strike, bud. You say something bad about Şengün after that, and you're out. So you're on thin ice. You're on thin ice, friend. Guys, we have about 3-4 minutes until lock and until I find my sanity again. DK Cash question from the Discord. Riviera, Levine, or Kane and Curry?
Riviera, Levine.
Kane and Curry.
Arabia, you mean?
Yeah. Well, he said Riviera, but that's probably.
I think that has to be.
Do that one.
Did anyone answer the question or no?
Yeah, we answered it.
Okay, thank you.
So let's catch you next time.
This is great. Anyone willing to start Levine in a head-to-head? Post your DK handle, and I'll send you a contest. Yeah, I don't think anybody's playing him in cash, are they? Right?
You can play him in cash. He's like he's got a nice floor. He hasn't showed much ceiling, which we've been waiting on. But
yeah. So again, I'm getting the who's our favorite 3K guy between Reeves and Tyson. And Neil, you kind of said you're playing the ownership game. You're now seeing that Reeves is projected above Tyson, so you might just want to have a little more Tyson, but we don't know, right? We don't know.
Yeah, honestly, they're coming in at very similar ownership. Yeah, so I actually now it's looking like the ownership has updated. Let's see where's it coming in at now? Because it looks like it's actually changed a little bit. So it's the reverse, and it's just a big throw your hands in the air because nobody knows how the ownership is going to shake out. And they project almost exactly the same. They have the exact same positional eligibility. I think I still like. I think I like Jalen Tyson just a little bit better because I think he has higher minutes upside than we're projecting. Just because there's the possibility that we really get really limited minutes for the regular starters.
Yeah. And to be clear, I feel like not only do we not really know about the ownership, we don't really know what these guys are capable of, right? Like we don't actually we don't actually know what these people are bringing to the table. So I'm excited to play them both. Let's see what else we've got. Here we go. DKGPP Neil Laravia. Now we got it right this time. Laravia and KPJ or JRE and Terrence Mann. That one's not mine, Kirk. I don't mean to throw you under the bus. This is like farts. You got to claim it.
I really like JRE, but I'm not really getting into any man. So I think I'd probably go with the first one.
Yeah. Hammer says it's bring your kids to work night. It is. Yeah, it actually is. Is this are these real names? I don't even know if these are real names. So I'm just ignoring this. Scrolling up a little bit. Scrolling up. Looking for a question. Less than a minute until lock.
Yeah, I'm getting
Sharp or Banton, Kirkwood. Sharp or Banton, DK single entry.
It's really close. Give me Banton.
Okay.
Bitcoin. Bitcoin just hit its 52-week high. I'm gonna have to log off of Twitter tonight.
Do you have the Bitcoin?
Not enough. Not enough.
I feel that. Neil, are you in the Bitcoin world? Are you in the Bitcoin streets?
I'm not anymore. I lost a lot of money on NFTs, so I was just like, you know what? I'm stepping.
You know what? Out of this game. Dean Shavelston recommended shots to everybody. Neil probably got around to Neil, so you got to.
Dean's fault.
It's Dean's fault.
I'm good with blaming Dean for sure.
Dean absolutely ruined me. I trusted him as one of our trusted colleagues and hosts, and
he cost us all millions, basically. Yeah. Play that again. Hang on.
In the world of a salary cap.
I love that we have the little.
I didn't hear it.
It was Dean saying his famous quote, which is,
"In the world of a salary cap."
Why am I not hearing it? I don't hear. Do you hear it, Kirkwood?
Yeah, I hear it.
It's kind of quiet.
Oh.
But Dean always says, well, I want to play this guy and this guy and this guy, but we live in the world of a salary cap. And they've cut that line. It's good stuff. All right. My kids are coming in again. We should just end this. We've hit lock. We've done the things. He did. Come here. Say goodbye to my friends. You say goodbye.
You can load up on Steph Curry. We can say goodbye.
There you go. You say bye-bye, sweetheart. Bye-bye. Hey, for Kirkwood, for Neil, for our wonderful production crew, always working hard behind the scenes. Guys, we appreciate you. We love you. And we will catch you tomorrow where it will hopefully not be for your kids to work day. You have been crunched.